Hi, you're watching Hindustan Times and I'm Aditi Prasad. In focus today is your doctor. The doctor, the person who you would trust the most amidst this acute healthcare crisis that is engulfing the entire country. That doctor that you go to for advice in these times of crisis. But who does the doctor turn to? Trauma, death, acute shortage of essential medicines and oxygen. How is your doctor coping with the unprecedented humanitarian crisis that is surrounding him or her 24 by 7? With us today, we have with us Dr. Trupti Gilada, an infectious diseases expert from Mumbai. She shared a very emotional video on the internet a few days ago, which really broke my heart. It was a sad, desperate, and emotional appeal for people to stay safe. Let's listen in to an excerpt from that video and then chat with Dr. Gilad.
वही आई थिंक ये जो इमोशनल ब्रेकडाउन है हम डॉक्टर्स में अब सबको कोई ना कोई समय हो रहा है बिकॉज वी नॉट बीन सो हेल्पलेस ओके सो मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंटली प्लीज टेक केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ राइट नाउ कोविड इज एवरीवेयर अराउंड यू ओके तो अगर आप घर से बाहर निकलो मे बी यूर मीटिंग योर फ्रेंड्स मे बी यूर मीटिंग योर फैमिली इट डज नॉट मैटर यू हैव टू बी मास्क्ड ओके जस्ट बिकॉज आपको अभी 1 साल से कोरोना नहीं हुआ है या आपको पिछले साल कोरोना होकर जा चुका है इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपको वापस कोरोना नहीं हो सकता यू कैन स्टिल गेट कोविड
What prompted you to make and share that video? I mean, the immediate cause. Clearly, something had moved you greatly.
So this video was made when I had just stepped out of the COVID ward. So, the things that have been happening over the last 10 or 15 days in the city of Mumbai, where I think every doctor receives frantic calls from relatives, friends for a hospital bed, for oxygen, for medicine. And, in the last week, two of my school friends lost their dads for just because they did not get a hospital bed in time. And I was in the ward uh, with one of the moms of this friend who had just lost her husband the previous day. And what she told me was that, बेटा आप मेरे पति के लिए बेड नहीं ढूंढ पाए, मेरे लिए बेड ढूंढा है, मेरे बच्चे घर पे अकेले, मुझे प्लीज घर भेजना. And I came out and I just felt that it's such a sad situation where the basic needs of healthcare, a hospital bed, oxygen, and medicines, all three things in shortage. With all this scenario unfurling around me, I was just thinking, how do I convey to my relatives and my family what the situation is and how do I help them be protected from this. So this was actually a video message that I recorded for a very close circle of family and friends and shared with them on WhatsApp. But I think it just resonated with everyone. I think everyone today has some relative, some friend who's at some point trying to get either a hospital or an investigation or some medicines. And and this is like unfurling in front of us. And this is something that we never ever thought and we would never want to see it again.
In your video, you sound very emotional and almost sort of fatigued. What's your state of mind right now? Are you raring to go and continue at the pace at which you are, or are you feeling a sort of a fatigue after an entire year of the pandemic and being surrounded by doom and gloom?
I think the frontline workers are not thinking about fatigue at all right now. I think we are in our fullest spirits. We understand that we are required more than ever. We understand that the problem is much bigger than what it was last time. So there is no question of fatigue. We are here. We are here to take you into the hospitals whenever you need us. We are here to manage you at home whenever you need us. But at the same time, we really request you to be at home if you do not need to be outside. And it's just a matter of, hopefully just a matter of another few weeks. Once this second wave settles down, we will have hospital beds not overflowing right now, like right now. and we will have hospital beds for everyone, and we will be able to take everyone, handle them, and give them the fullest medical attention. But right now is just such a bad time to fall ill, not just with COVID, with any
Hmm.
other illness right now.
Absolutely. In your video, you've talked about how the situation in Mumbai is worsening, and how smaller towns in Maharashtra are also seeing a strain as far as these medical supplies are concerned. We saw what happened in Nashik a few days ago. Have you really been in touch with doctors outside Mumbai? What are they saying to you?
Yes, I mean all the time, because we have colleagues who work in different towns and cities in Maharashtra, and some of them are parts of hospitals that they're responsible for, and it's just heartbreaking because the patients think that the doctors are responsible for not giving oxygen and not giving drugs. It's just, I mean, we understand that we are the face of the healthcare in the country. So when the patients come to us, they just come to us with all the expectations of care and cure. But we are our hands are just tight right now. This is only that much that we can do, and we are really trying our best to do as much as we can. And that's, I think, probably the biggest feeling of helplessness comes from the fact that even though we are ready to give it our all, we do not have the beds, and we do not have the oxygen, and we do not have the medicines to give them.
And how do you feel when you see people not wearing their masks on the roads when you're driving home to work, let's say, when you see political rallies going on, when you see visuals of the Kumbh Mela appearing on your screen? What are the feelings that go through you?
Yeah, it's, our blood boils. Here we are struggling for every life that comes into the hospital, and there are people who don't realize what they're doing. I mean, we saw this in the last 3 or 4 months before the second wave, that people were all around without wearing masks. The young people thought that they are young, they, even if they get COVID, they will not get anything too serious or will be in the hospital, forgetting that they're taking the same virus back home to their parents, to their grandparents. And a few days later, these are exactly those people who we will see in the ICU. So I think people need to understand that the reason why we are asking you to wear a mask is not for yourself. At least wear the mask for the people around you, for the people back home, for your near and dear ones, because they need to understand that when a life is lost, it's an entire household that gets shattered. And we've seen this very, very closely day in, day out.
In yet another grim milestone, India has crossed 3.3 lakh new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. There have been, 2,263 uh, deaths in the last 24 hours. What is your advice for other young doctors like you? Uh, what is your advice for them to cope?
I think we just, despite all the negativity around us, I think we just need to be positive, focus on what we have, maximize all the resources we have, and just continue doing what we've been doing selflessly. And I really also would like to thank the families of frontline workers, because I think none of us would have been able to give what we are doing and give our best if we did not have the support of our families back home. We worry about them every single day. That every time we go back home, we fear for them. Are we taking the virus to them? And they let us do that job without fearing for their own lives. So I think they should equally be thanked.
Yes, and thank you, because you have a 8-month-old daughter, Dr. Gilada, and I'm sure it must be very traumatic. I mean, and how do you cope with that?
I think it's not traumatic. I think the kids
No,
probably
you
are
know,
keeping
going
the
back
sanity for
home
all
from
of
the
us.
hospital.
Yeah, I think over the last 1 year we've just stopped thinking about it. After all, we know this is like a long drawn battle. This is something we will probably have to live with. Our families have got used to it. So it's just that every day we pray that we really don't make any of our family members sick and push them into the situation that we really fear. So, but in the bargain, we've lost our colleagues, and our colleagues have lost their families. And I think we just continue to do what we do. That's what doctors are here for, and frontline warriors are here for.